it's Andy, and welcome to episode 10 of Musical Stories. And it's a collection of humorous and comical stories about a life in music. Hope you enjoy it if you're a struggling musician. I hope you find some inspiration in it. Okay, and so this episode's story is entitled, I'm Not From Manhattan. Alright, so the story goes, so I'm sitting there in the music store and I was teaching lessons at the music store. Sometimes I, stood behind a cash register if the owner had to run to the bank or something. So I periodically worked the counter at the store. Sometimes I changed strings for people's guitars, or sometimes I showed guitars, or I did odd things like sometimes I locked up, at the end of the day. But mostly I taught lessons, and I would just happen to be there inside the store, and the music store owner had recommended me for some lessons. And so someone had come in and said, Andy would be a good teacher for your kids. So I got a call and said, let's meet up at the store and we can talk about your teaching style or whatever, see if it's a good fit, and if it works out, you can teach my son. Okay. So I show up, and there I am at the music store, and this gentleman comes in and he introduces himself, and he says, okay, so the music store owner told me about you. He told me your name, said you had a website, so I Googled your name. And I don't understand how you can travel here so much, to teach music when you live in Manhattan. And we were actually in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the time, right? And so I kind of, I got that little wrinkle between my brows, and I was like, huh? What are you talking about? From Manhattan? What? He said, yeah, I read your website. You're a jazz bassist based out of Manhattan. And how is it you're teaching in Ann Arbor, Michigan? When are you going to have time to come here and teach my son if you live in Manhattan? And I was like, what website is this? He's like, it's on your website. I Googled you. Oh, is it andyschiller.com? And I pulled my phone out. Siri, find andyschiller.com. Click. Hey, this is my website. Is this what you were talking about? No, that's not your website. The website that I read about you says you're a jazz bassist based out of Manhattan, and you play jazz on your bass. And so what are you doing teaching guitar lessons when you're a bassist? And I was like, okay, well, there's some confusion here. I don't live in Manhattan. I don't play jazz, and I'm not a bassist. My name's Andy. I'm Andy Schiller. You might have seen it on andyschiller.com. And I play classical guitar, fingerstyle, and I teach guitar full time. And I tried to explain this to the guy, but anyway, part of the side story that's really an interesting part of the story is there was a day a little while back where I was on Facebook and I was just curious, I just typed in Andy Schiller on Facebook, click and hit enter, let's see what happens. And there was at least 50 people named Andy Schiller that had a Facebook page. And so, on a whim, I was like, hey, I'm going to start a group. And so I started a group. And so the group is called Cool Guys Named Andy Schiller. And I started the group, and then I invited every single one of those guys. And you know what? About 20 people responded and joined. And now I'm part of a group on Facebook. It's called Cool Guys Named Andy Schiller. And it's only open to people whose name is Andy Schiller. We have 20 members. And it's really fun to see, hey, Andy Schiller, daughter graduates from college. Hey, Andy Schiller, joined the Olympics. Hey, Andy Schiller, moved to Germany. Hey, Andy Schiller, he's a botanist from Japan. Hey, Andy Schiller, he's skydiving in Antarctica, It's just every Andy Schiller is doing something different, and we post stuff on there once in a while, and it's just kind of gives you a giggle to see, you know, your name in the newspaper, but it's not you. It's like some picture of some other guy. But anyway, I thought I would share that as kind of a side story. But I guess you can see where we're going with this. So I turned to the guy at the music store and I'm like, well, that's not me. That's another guy named Andy Schiller. I don't live in Manhattan. I'm not a jazz bassist. I live in Ann Arbor. I play guitar. This is my website. I'm sorry if there was confusion. You know, if you go to this music store's website, there's a picture of me. Did you go to the music store's website? Because if you go to lessons, there's all the teachers. There's a picture of me. There's my bio. Did you read that? No. Nope, I Googled your name. Okay, so you typed Andy Schiller into Google and read the first thing you saw. Yep. Okay, and I was like, well, let's get down to business. So, you know, your son wants to take lessons and I'm happy to teach him guitar. So how about Saturday at 2 o'clock? Let's go. We'll have our first lesson. And he's like, but how are you going to teach him guitar when you're a bassist? And I thought, oh boy, here we go again. All right, well, I don't play the bass. I play guitar. And so he kind of went around. There must have been a communication breakdown, you know, because we kept going around and around. And I just kept trying to steer the conversation back to, let's sign up for lessons. What day and time? Bring your son, have him bring his guitar. We're going to learn guitar. We're going to have guitar lessons. Are you ready? And he just kept going back to asking me questions. And kind of came to the end of the conversation where he was like, well, you know, I don't really want my son to take lessons with you because I think your website's really not well organized. You're going to need to change the picture. You said that that's not a picture of you. Why are you putting pictures of other people on your website? You really need to change your picture. And I just couldn't explain to him that the website that he looked at was not my website. And so I just gave up and I'm like, you know, have a great day. I wish you the best. Good luck finding your son a guitar teacher. I'm sure you'll do really well. And have a great weekend. Because I just decided to be kind to him. And so he was getting ready to walk out. And he's like, you know, I'm going to leave you a bad review because I just don't like you. The end. Okay, so the story's over. And he walks out. There's no more story to tell. So the rest of the story, though, is, hey, other guys named Andy Schiller, if you've received a bad review from someone, I'm sorry. Because some guy left a bad review for you and you didn't deserve it. But anyways, so I didn't get any bad reviews, but someone else did, and I didn't mean for that to happen, but it happened. So anyways, some stories are just so comical and so they just make your eyes roll or make your head shake, and it's like, you can't make this stuff up, but that really happened to me. And so if your name is Andy Schiller, I hope that that guy didn't leave you a bad review. And hey, maybe join my Facebook group. Alright, so that's the end of that story, and I hope to see you again soon in episode 11.